Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Duo Amascut. My goal is to push all the way to 1000% Enrage Duo. I mean, you got to start somewhere. So today we're starting at 100 Enrage. The damage checks are much easier here, which lets me focus on building good habits before things start getting punishing. The setup I'm using is a range melee hybrid, and throughout this run, I'm mainly trying to practice solid fundamentals that I'll need later. So you'll see that I'm using Immortality and Prayer Flicking and keeping Amascut locked onto melee attacks. This helps my duo partner get in Split Soul and a full melee rotation without having to worry about taking magic attacks from her. And then I'm building Death Spore stacks so I can get a free barricade. That lets me fit in an easy K special attack, and then I swap back into range. A lot of people ask me how I force melee autos, so here's what's happening. Every time Amascut starts her flurry, she checks her current overhead prayer. Since her previous auto was melee, if I were praying melee or soul split, she'd swap to magic afterwards. Instead, I intentionally pray magic, which is technically the wrong prayer, and because of that, she stays locked onto melee for her next 3 auto attacks. It's a small mechanic, but it's incredibly useful once you start pushing higher in rages. And as we come into phase 2, at only 100 in rage, everything has such low health that the gorillas disappear almost immediately. Once I start climbing in rage, I think I'll swap to melee here to kill them even faster and consistently skip Atmikin's Burden. My duo partner handles the chains while I head outside to kill the crocodiles before moving to the statue. One advantage of ranging here is that I can continue damaging the next gorilla while clicking this statue, so there's very little downtime. I'll jump inside, finish off this warden, and looking back, I actually think there's room to optimize this strategy. If my partner had stayed outside and cleared the opposite statue instead, I could have broken both chains myself, and we'd probably save a little more time. One mechanic worth pointing out here is the light that my partner picks up. Here in the second room, he's grabbing the Krondis light, which is why we get the second wave of crocodiles. And as we finish this phase, we're going to be swapping back to melee for a quick easy K special to get some burst damage in, and I'm going to end it off with Pulverize and Debilitate. I know that she's going to start phase 3 with a flurry because of the attack rotation that she ended off phase 1. So these defensive abilities will help smooth out this transition. Now, phase 3 is mostly about dodging these waves while keeping your damage as high as possible. I'll get another Immortality in to take the Bend the Knee mechanic, and you'll notice that I get to 100% adrenaline before Immortality procs. This is because the next set of defenses that I use are Devotion and Resonance to deal with that quick flurry, because I'm still vulnerable when I come back from Immortality. And one basic gets me to 100% adrenaline, give me another barricade. And if you used a vulnerability bomb during the melee rotation earlier, this is the perfect time to refresh it for an additional 10% damage for the rest of the phase. Now for phase 4, my partner threw the scarab onto his gorilla, and I'll be throwing the rest of the scarabs into the portal so that he can clear the room inside. And after that, I'll move across the arena to deal with the opposite side gorilla. This is honestly one of my least favorite parts of the fight, since the dogs tend to stack up and make it real hard or real awkward to click all the scarabs. So I'm mostly trying to keep everything under control without losing too much time. I do get some scarabs down. I'll go in and kill the warden, and my partner comes in after that to clear up the room. And as we end phase 4, I'm going to use one more EZK special attack before we move into phase 5. Now, phase 5 is maybe one of the more complicated parts of the encounter. I'm experimenting with strategies here because I'd love to take this down to 2 cycles, but here for this time, we're taking it slow, doing it real easy, and going 4 cycles. If you have any suggestions for how we could do a 2 cycle here, you can leave a comment down below, because I'd love to test some new strategies out. We're beginning on the solo side. One thing worth noting is that you can grab the green beam from anywhere along its path. There's no reason to stand directly in front of the Amascut here because there's only one green beam at a time. Once the jumping section starts, I switch back to melee for, you guessed it, some more EZK special attacks. The EZK just does so much damage. Melee is really great for bursting out damage real quick. But at this point in the fight, Amascut's already getting fairly low, so I'll probably stay in range for the remainder of the phase, just so that I can take it easy. Now I'll talk about the center charge. I found that there's one specific tile that you can stand on to simultaneously charge the pillar and catch the green beam at the same time. My partner, on the other hand, does have to briefly step off of the charge tile to grab the green beam himself. So it's a little bit slow. Maybe we could work something out to speed it up where we switch sides. But I'll save that for a later video. And the rest of this phase is exactly the same as what we just did, just a mirror. So I'll just let it play out. Since you're just watching the same thing happen on the other side, now's actually the perfect time to drop a like and subscribe to my page. And now for phase 6. This one is nice and quick. I actually only recently learned the proper light bearer rotation. I've already done 1,500 kills before I actually learned it. So I'll share it with you today. Making sure I get my Meteor Strike and Berserk down before I go up. And then on the Wardens, it's just a Hurricane, Pulverize, Overpower, Chaos Roar, and Assault. Now normally that Assault deletes the final Warden instantly. And honestly, I'm not sure why this one survived the extra hit, but that would have been my tick perfect light bearer rotation. Now, after dropping down, I'm going to pray magic, and as soon as I see Amascut starts attacking, I'm going to drink a vitality potion. This will help just in case she goes into a flurry. And I'm going to use a decimation special attack to help clear out that clone. And at 100 Enrage, her black bar shield is quite low, so I'm going to stay ranged. But at higher Enrages, I know she's going to have a much higher black shield, so melee will definitely be necessary for those higher Enrages. Now phase 7, thankfully, at 100 Enrage, with all the damage that we did throughout the whole fight, this one's quick and simple. One last easy K special, and we'll clean up the rest of the health with a few abilities. But that's it. That's the kill. Overall, this run isn't really about showing off. It's just about building solid habits so I can eventually climb to 1000 Rage. I'm already comfortable with the mechanics here and can focus on improving execution instead of relearning fundamentals. And if there's anything you saw that I could optimize or have strategies that work, feel free to comment below. I'm super open to trying new things, and I'd love to make these runs cleaner as I climb and rage. Thanks for watching.